What? Oh my god, hi. Pfft. Konnichiwa, my chat's not up. Pfft. Of course it isn't. Why would it be up? Why would my chat be up? You there? Yes. Okay, good. My question mark comment was worthless. Hang on a second. Lucy. Alright, I have Lucy. Lucy obtained. Hello? Hi, someone. Is this the first time I've been properly late to a stream? Whoops. I mean, I've delayed streams before, but I've never just shown up like 10 minutes late. Like, hi. Lucy's here. She's comfortable. So... Is my first time streaming? Yes. I've never streamed before. Hi! You might notice something interesting about today's stream, and it's that my thumbnail is a work in progress. And that thumbnail is in fact the reason I was late. Because I was drawing it and I was like, this will be really fast, I can do it before stream starts. And then I looked down at the clock and it was 1 PM and I was like, oh fuck! So, New Angel. Yes, okay. Like out of breath. Is there anything? Okay. Anyway, the start of this stream is actually going to be me finishing the thumbnail. So hi, how's it going? We ending this year well? We all feeling good? Feeling calm and relaxed and normal? That's how I'm feeling currently. Gonna Animal Crossing it? Oh yeah. I actually restarted. I have a new island that I started recently. As Nomia. Pretty good and tiring year. Yeah, I feel that. It'll be... August 31st was my first stream, so today is 4 months since I started streaming. Isn't that interesting? Ah, that's kind of neat. That's kind of funky and fun and fresh. Alright. Congrats, thank you. It's third. A third of a year. I have done streams now. Didn't know that? Yeah. My first stream was August 31st. It was actually on Twitch because I didn't realize that you have to request streaming permission on YouTube 24 hours in advance, and I didn't know that. And I made a promise to myself that I would stream by the end of August. And then it was August 31st, and I had to request 24 hours in advance, and I was like, fuck it, and so my first stream was on Twitch. Alright, I haven't saved this drawing yet. I should probably do that. Also, it's like kind of hot today, and I'm feeling away. I feel a bit. I have my caps lock on by accident, so that panic accidentally is a lot more panicked than I meant it to be. Alright, all I need to do is color this, so let's color this. But yes, Happy New Year's Eve. I always like New Year's. I always like it. It feels like a time to reflect and think about what you want to change and what you want to keep and what's been good, what's been not great. It's a good time to think about resolutions and stuff. Think about what you're gonna do. What you're gonna do with your life, you know? So, I think... hang on a second. Let me figure out really quick. Yeah, okay. You're going to do something at midnight later? I might. I don't know yet. There tends to be fireworks around that make Lucy scared. She doesn't like the fireworks, so I often have to take care of her on New Year's. But I might. Depends on how she's doing. I would like to. Short stream, are you gonna sleep for 1 year? I am doing... this is just a chat, and we're just gonna chat about this year and what I have planned for next year, and also just chat in general and apparently draw the thumbnail. That was not part of the stream that I was anticipating, but it's part of the stream now. We still have the jank drawing scene from... wow, the theme of this week's streams has been panic and things being wrong. But it's fine. But I feel, reflecting on my 2022, it started off good, then it got not great, then it got really not great, and then I started streaming, and I have felt a lot better. I feel good. By the way, let me know if my voice is too loud or too quiet. I forgot to ask that. But I have been enjoying streaming these past 4 months. And apart from breaks that I decided to take or accidentally took that one time, I have been able to stream pretty consistently. And this is my first one that I've been late for. 4 months in, first late stream. Isn't that incredible? Because, yeah, I've always had a track record my whole life of bailing on stuff or quitting stuff or being late or cancelling, things like that. Lucy's got up. Lucy's busy. But, yeah, that's all. That's... when I was young, I thought it was because... yeah, there's that one joke that's very popular in Malaysia this past few years. People say, do not go to the toilet at midnight because you'll be in there for 1 year. I see. Not that way, actually. Yeah, but I was still a little bit late. Which I haven't done before. And yeah, I have, my whole life, I've been a bit of, well, I've always felt that I've been a bit of a quitter. I start things and I don't finish them, you know? Still tolerate, yeah. But a lot of that was due to being disabled and not knowing it and treating myself as if I wasn't disabled. When you're disabled and you don't think you are, everything becomes the self-blame game. Of like, I'm tired today, but I should be doing work. Why aren't I doing the work? I just like, I don't have a reason to not do the work. I'm just lazy, you know? And that feels like shit. And then when you find out later that you're disabled, it's like, oh, I wasn't lazy this whole time. I actually have chronic fatigue and I'm tired all the time. And not everyone feels this way, because I always assumed everyone feels constantly exhausted and constantly in pain and dizzy and whatever, which is not the case. not everyone feels that way all the time. And discovering that was probably one of the best changes in my life. It's like being like, oh, I'm not a lazy piece of shit. I actually am really I'm actually trying really hard and I'm doing really well. But sometimes the feeling of, you know, the mindset of I should be doing more doesn't go away overnight, you know? And so it's very easy to feel like I'm not doing enough, even though I'm doing all that I can. And I just moved my canvas over. It's like that, don't worry about it. But Not New Year's Eve for me, it's in 3 on the 31st, but Happy New Year's Eve! Happy New Year's Eve! It's only 1 PM for me, but I treat New Year's Eve as the whole day, you know? Just sometimes feel tiredness, and it's a bit dangerous, yeah. The thing about chronic fatigue is even resting doesn't make the tiredness go away, which is, it's wild to me that people wake up in the morning and they feel rested, because I've never felt that. Yeah, it's, they're on the 30th in my head. So it's been a struggle to do anything consistently for me. Yeah, I've struggled a lot with getting an education, struggled a lot with getting a job. It's all very hard to maintain. Also struggled a lot to maintain my own hobbies, which is, it sucks. It's when you have things that you want to do and you're not doing them for a totally nebulous reason that other people can't see or understand, when you yourself don't really understand all the time. Where it's like, why aren't I doing the thing that I want to do? I'm tired. What do you mean you're tired? You slept for 14 hours. It's wild. So I think, honestly, streaming has been the thing that I have done. It sounds like me. Yeah, it sucks. And I was only diagnosed like 5 years ago. Something like that. Which is wild. I think it was 5 years ago. It feels so recent. But I think streaming has been the thing that I've done the most consistently for the longest period of time ever, my whole life. Sleep for 2 days and wake up so tired because my sleep schedule is messed up. Yeah, for me it's not my sleep schedule though, it's my actual body. It just doesn't get rested. It can't. It doesn't matter how good my sleep schedule is. I have a pretty good sleep schedule, but it doesn't matter. It takes me hours to get out of bed in the morning. It's a lot. And I have medication now, which is really good. Getting medication was like, oh my god. It's like, I don't know how I would function without it. I don't know how I did function for years of my life without it. Like, the idea that I spent the majority of my life living, going to school, doing homework, seeing people, going out, doing things, and I didn't have medication for any of that. Like, was I okay? Clearly not. I clearly wasn't doing very well. 26-hour stream. Yeah, I would love to do a marathon stream. I don't know if I'd be physically able to, which is kind of sad, because I would love to. Because yeah, because I have blood pressure issues, if I'm upright for too long, just don't sleep, that's not how it works. If I'm upright for too long, I get really lightheaded and I like faint. I haven't fainted on stream yet. I'll make that a New Year's resolution. In 2023, I'll faint on stream. And you guys will get to hear me just thunk onto my desk. And you'll all panic and I'll wake up like... Well, I won't wake up because I don't lose consciousness, but I've fainted before. I faint like... Before my medication, I fainted like every day. Now with medication, it only happens if I push if like I'm upright for quite a few hours. Probably like, well, I've done a stream for like 5 hours and I didn't faint during that. I think the adrenaline and the enjoyment of streams kind of keeps me up. I know that I've fainted in like classes before, and that was only after being upright for like a few hours. But it always sounds so dramatic when I say that. It's like, I'll faint, and everyone's like, what? No, what? What's happening? You need to go to the hospital. It's like, no, I'm fine. I just get up. Oh, it's fine. Don't worry about it. See, this is the thing. I say people panic about it so much, but for me, it's very normal, and it's just a thing that happens. Because, yeah, I don't lose consciousness. I use the word faint, but it's more like a collapse. Like, it's... Here, let me illustrate how it works. So you see... I could even do it like this. Hang on, I'll make this white. So imagine a person filled with blood. They're filled with blood, right? Like most people are. People are filled with blood, yes. Lisa needs to do, she will not do anything, she will cry. So I actually have a lower blood volume than the average person. It's part of my condition. I don't have as much blood as the average person. And so you see, when someone is horizontal, think about a water bottle. If you put a water bottle or like just anything sideways like this, people have blood. Oh, strawberry juice? No, it's blood. So when someone's sideways, even if the container isn't full, like if it isn't full, if it's sideways, it'll kind of level out. So it's like this. And this end up here is the head. Is why I'm all short of breath? Yes, it's also where my heart rate is crazy. It's not that crazy right now. Maybe it's because I haven't been upright for too long. Once at the end of stream, maybe I'll let you hear my heartbeat if I remember to do it, and you can hear how fast it goes. But you see, this is your head when you're lying horizontal, and so your head is full of blood. But then, if you stand up, your head is still here. But now, all the blood is down here. And you got no blood in your head. and the blood is what gives your brain, and if there's no blood in your head, get your heart rate. I want one of those really bad. I gotta get one at some point. But when your brain doesn't get blood, it doesn't get oxygen. And so when your brain doesn't have oxygen in it, you get very lightheaded. If you've ever stood up too quickly, like if you're lying down and you stand up really quickly, sometimes you get like a head rush. You always wake up with a headache. But basically, if you stand up really quickly, you get like a head rush and you feel kind of dizzy. Mama Vixie has the one we got when you had the unknown virus. Yeah. Oh yeah, but it wouldn't be good for stream. I wouldn't be able to use it for stream. Basically that's just when there's no blood in your brain. And when there's no blood in your brain, you can't do anything. Because your brain controls everything. Your brain controls every part of you. It controls your thoughts and your movement and your everything. So when there's no blood up there, your body basically just shuts down. It just goes, nope, and it stops. And that's what happens to me when I faint. So it's basically my body just being like, there's no blood here. And so my body just stops. It stops working. Because it's like, what the fuck? And so... Wait, where is... There it is. Bring this to me. But yeah. Because that's why I say I faint, because I kind of just fall down. If I'm standing, I will fall down. But I basically lose the ability to control my arms and stuff. It gets silent. No, you'll notice, because, I'm kind of curious to see, I wanna... Maybe I'll do a marathon stream until I faint. That'll be my end marathon. Stream goes until I faint. And I'll just keep going until I happen, but I'll do that. Oh, thank you. That's my old reference image. But I'll do a stream once I get my live 2D model. Because I think it'd be really interesting to see how my live 2D model, like, mimics the weird little, like... I do weird little, like, my... So basically, whenever I'm about to faint, it's kind of visibly obvious to the people around me if they know what to look for, because my eyes kind of roll back a little bit, and I start blinking a lot. Like, I start blinking a lot, and, like, I kind of start, like, leaning to one side, and if you say, like, hey Noah, you okay? And I just won't respond. Is it dangerous? No, it's not dangerous. Because it happens so gradually, it's very easy for me to get to a place where I don't fall in. Basically, the only danger of it is if I fall and hit my head, which is almost impossible for me to do because it comes on so slowly. Because, yep. Since it comes on so slowly, it's, like, kind of hard for me to actually faint nowadays. Because, like, when it first started happening to me, I would, like, fall... Is it long I fainted? Last time I fainted... Depending on what degree we're talking about, like, to what degree of faint. Because I have fainted... Like... I do, like, mini fainting spells where I just kind of, like, my brain stops working and then I have to go lie down and I don't fully faint, but, like, I can feel it about to happen. So, like, I just be like, oh, I'm about to faint, and I go lie down and, like, I kind of catch it before it happens. The last time I actually fainted... It's probably been a few months now, actually. Probably would have been when I was in class or something. Need someone there? We do the faint stream. It'll be fine, don't worry. Cause it's not like a sudden faint. If you're thinking it's like, boom, I'm down, like I'm talking normally and then I'm down, that's not how it is. It's extremely, when you know what to look for, it's extremely obvious when it's about to happen. Which is part of the reason that I haven't fainted properly in so long, because I know when it's about to happen. And I'm usually like, I'm gonna go lie down now. And then I just leave. I go lie down. Until I feel better. But basically it's... Yeah, what happens first? Well, it's a loss of blood to the brain. So usually the first thing is that my thoughts get all jumbled up. So like I can't think very clearly. I've described it before as like everything I hear, like if someone's talking to me, it's like they're talking to me through a pane of like really thick glass. So like, you know when someone's talking to you behind a wall and there's kind of like a... It's kind of muffled, you know? And like, I can see that their lips are moving and I can tell that they're saying words, but I don't really know what they're saying to me. That's probably even a bit too. That's probably not the first sign. The first sign is probably just like being kind of like spacey. Like I'll just forget what I'm saying mid-sentence, or I'll like kind of zone out and I'll come back and I'll be like, what the fuck is happening? Oh, if you want to see a stream where I was kind of... I wasn't really fainting, but I was very spaced out. The fucking Subnautica stream where I moved all my stuff from one base to the other. I haven't gone back and watched it, but I'm kind of interested to, because I know for that stream, I was super hyper-focused on that task to the point where I kind of just like zoned out. I don't know if there were periods of that stream where I just stopped talking for like minutes on end. I have no idea. It's entirely possible. Because I was just like out. I was gone. But yeah, it'd honestly be kind of funny to do a stream where I just keep going until I faint. Could even have a heart monitor attached. You can see what happens. Because when I do faint, because it's a lack of blood to the brain, my heart rate usually increases. But it's basically when you're like, when you've got a lack of blood to your brain, your body decides to go, we're dying, oh no. Release all the chemicals that stop us from dying. So even if you're not really in danger, your body's like, panic, panic, everything's going to shit. And so it releases all the chemicals that make you, like, really energized. But the thing about that is that I can't move. So I have nothing to do with all that energy that my body has given me. So that's the only really like dangerous or scary part of fainting for me, is that all of that excess energy can sometimes turn into anxiety or a panic attack. But I have ways of mitigating it. And I highly doubt that if I was like on stream and doing stuff, and I would have a panic attack during it. I highly doubt that would happen. But if lately it only really happens if like, cause yeah, I have my ways. I won't spoil all of my ways. But yeah. And for years of my life, I would tell doctors about this thing that happens to me every day, because at the time it was every day. Now that I'm on medication, it's definitely not every day, but I would imagine going into a doctor and saying to them, hey, I faint every day. And I can't move and I can't speak and I don't know what's happening. And the doctors are just like, I think you're fine. Have you tried yoga? Have you been to therapy? Have you tried talking it out? Hey, all that fainting you do, have you tried just talking it out? Working that out in therapy. I think it's all in your head. People around you went silent. That is literally what my life was for years. Going to doctors and then being like, nah. I'm gonna be very awkward. I even did faint in front of a doctor once. And they were like, that's interesting. Anyway. Dude, being gaslit by doctors is so fucking real. Like, doctors... specifically older doctors. I have had no... well, some. Okay, the one older doctor that I've seen and had a decent experience seeing was literally a specialist in my condition, so he was literally looking into... so he was literally like, we went into the appointment with him being like, yeah, I believe you. I believe that you have this thing, no problem. And he was like trained to see the signs of it. But doctors who don't know what they're talking, don't immediately recognize the symptoms like he did. And if they're older, they don't believe shit you say. They don't believe shit. Older doctors are so proud of themselves because they've been in the medical profession for years and years. And they're all like, oh, I know more than you. Why are you here? You're not here for that. I know more than you. I think you have this. Anyway, it's all in your head and you're crazy. How long is me? I tell them I fainted every day. People are really silent. Dude, they literally... It's pretty serious. It's... yeah. Nowadays, fainting isn't as much of a problem. It's mostly just brain fog and general low blood pressure. Like the Dr. Fuscozy Day because you look like a girl. Wow. I remember that. She was a gender specialist. Gender specialist who's never heard of the they pronoun before. What an icon. Doctors are stupid. But hey, pro tip, if you're disabled and you're struggling to get a diagnosis, like you're very, like, number one, if doctors keep saying that there's nothing wrong with you, even though you are like struggling with something that is clearly wrong with you, don't listen to them. Like, listen to their opinions, but don't take it as fact. And my pro tip is go to a doctor who is like fresh out of medical school. Like I'm talking a doctor in their 20s. Like, just first job at the clinic. You're their first ever patient. You walk into them and you say, "This is my issue," and they'll figure it out. Because older doctors are so, they feel this is not an overall statement for all doctors. It's not for you, but for medical, yes, pretty serious. It's also a genetic condition, so I've had it since I was born. And yet, people... So, imagine how I spent all of my childhood just being like, yeah, this is normal, this is how everyone is. And, because I didn't start fainting until I was a teenager. it got a lot worse after a period of like high stress. I feel like that makes them more likely to make us feel worse. Yes, dude. I think go to a doctor that is new and still has the attitude of I'll figure it out. And if you ever feel like a doctor doesn't believe what you say, don't see them. Don't go back to them. Because it's okay if a doctor disagrees with something you say, but if they straight up act like they don't believe you, no. Because yeah, that's a huge problem that specifically female body people have, is doctors don't fucking believe you. And also, I know specifically black women deal with it a lot as well, of doctors just don't believe you. And fat people as well, doctors don't believe you. They just, especially if you're if you're overweight and you go to the doctor with any issue, it's just like, have you tried to lose weight? Have you tried? It's like, oh my god. Oh my god. Imagine I'm just thinking of like, I'll just get things over with like a long ago. Dude, that is a bit too real. New doctor in Melbourne is podcasting. Yes. Always blame you. It's wild. Which is why I say go to a younger doctor. Because I have never... People think like, then they're inexperienced, they're not fully qualified yet. Yeah, I think that almost helps. Because they still have like that med school attitude of like, you're right, I don't know everything. Like just having a doctor Google something in front of me. If a doctor Googles something in front of you, trust them, always go to them. If a doctor's ever just like, I don't know what that is, hang on, let me check. Go to them forever. That's your new doctor now. That's your new primary care. your new primary physician. Because, yeah. It's... some older doctor that gives a safe vibe, and I kind of like that. Yeah, I'm not talking about all older doctors. Like, if you have an older doctor that's good, then keep going to them. But if you are struggling with having doctors believe you, my advice is to go to a younger one. That's my advice. And also, if this is more advice of finding a doctor. If you're female bodied, go to a female bodied doctor. If you're a person of color, go to a person of color who's a doctor. Like, if you're fat, find a fat doctor. Like, this is all very... If you keep seeing old white men, you won't get diagnosed. This is my advice. Find a doctor who will believe you, believe the things that you say. That's the most important thing. Fave's actually hello there, honey, what happened today? Yes. If they just want to know what's up with you. If they just like the feeling of having... I still remember seeing a new GP for the very first time. It was my first time seeing him. He was younger. He was probably one of the youngest GPs I saw. And I went through my entire medical history with him, and all the tests that had come back negative, and all the things that other doctors had told me I didn't have, and blah 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 blah. Long sort of history. Really to get my life. Yeah, same. But yeah, I just sat down, I told him everything, and I was so ready to be like referred to another place or get another test done, blah 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 blah, and to just be like, I don't know, man, we'll figure it out. That sounds like it could be something to do with the blah blah blah. And he just looked me dead in the eyes and he was just like, have you ever done a tilt table test? And I was like, what's that? And he's like, you've never done a tilt table test? And I was like, no. And he was like, what the fuck? That's the first thing I would ever... Like, all of your symptoms line up exactly with postural aesthetic tachycardia syndrome, which is POTS. And I was like, I was told I didn't have that years ago by an older doctor. There was an older doctor years beforehand who went, do I have POTS? And they were like, no. And he was like, what? What do you mean? This sounds exactly like every case of POTS I've ever heard in my life. And I was like, oh, okay. And he was like, I'm gonna send you to a specialist. And I was like, okay. Strict oh yeah! Oh yeah, that was the, ooh, that was the, ooh. The doctor I saw that told me I didn't have POTS, that was an old white man, let me tell ya. And he didn't give a shit about what I had to say. I told him something and it went in one ear out the other. And I think I mentioned something about like I researched this, or like I saw, or like I searched it online, or I found a community of people talking about it, blah blah blah. And this motherfucker rolled his eyes. Like, what the? I'm sorry. I know doing your own medical research is it's a bit sketchy sometimes. Because sometimes Google can send you down a rabbit hole of things that you don't have, and you can make yourself believe you have something you don't. But when I say I've been having all of these symptoms, I found this thing online that is all of these symptoms. Do you think I have it? You are a professional. You know more about this than I do. He, without a second thought, just said, no. No. And I'm 100% certain he said no because I said that because we said that we'd researched it ourselves. He was just like, I know more than you, stupid idiots. You think you know what's wrong with you? Puh. Dumbass. I know more. For I am the doctor. I was educated. Blah, 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 blah. And yeah. So, apparently the way that interview should have gone, according to the doctor who finally got me diagnosed, was I would have said, do I have POTS? And the doctor should have been like, perhaps. You do seem to have all the symptoms of that. Let's do a tilt table test. Which is what that younger GP said should have happened years ago. I went undiagnosed for years more than necessary because that motherfucker was just like, no. Fuck that guy. And yeah, I got referred to a specialist from that GP. And literally, the specialist, he heard my life story once again. I got very used to telling my life story to new doctors every 2 weeks or whatever. It was like a queue to get into that specialist, by the way. I had to like wait a few months to see him. And yeah, I finally saw him, and he was like, alright, wear this heart monitor for like 36 hours, I think it was. And I was like, okay. And so I went home and I was wearing a heart monitor for 36 hours. And then I went back, and he was just like, yeah, you have dysautonomia, which is like the umbrella term for POTS. And I was just like, oh my god, it was that easy? I didn't even have to do a tilt table test. It was literally so obvious from my heart rate that I didn't even have to do the whatever test that I should have done. He's just like, yep. Yep, you have that. It's pretty obvious. It was pretty obvious. And I just, the anger I feel. The unbridled anger I feel for the fact that it's so obvious. The condition I have is so obvious. And yet, because I saw people who thought, just like a ton of people who thought they knew more than me. Because my condition is kind of like not very well researched. It's like not super honestly, I think it's probably more common than people realize it is, because I'm a relatively severe case of dysautonomia, but it's actually, because it's genetic, it's like there are entire families that have it. You know, it's just not as severe. It like, it varies wildly in severity from person to person. And like my entire family didn't know I had it until, didn't know we had it until me, you know? So, it's just so wild. It was so obvious. And like, yeah, I think I don't know. I'm like a fucking textbook case of this fucking disorder, man. And yet, because some old dudes were like, I've never heard of it, therefore it doesn't exist. Oh my god. There's a saying, actually, that's popular in the medical community. It's like something, it's this thing that you get taught in, I think, medical school or whatever, which is basically, it's basically the attitude you're meant to have as a doctor, which is, if you hear hoofbeats, it's probably a horse. Which basically means to assume the most common scenario, you know? Like, if you have a patient and you don't know what's wrong with them, you analyze what they're dealing with, and you assume, or you go off the idea that it is the most likely outcome first and foremost. And only after like eliminating that possibility do you start considering other things, which is, I guess, fine. But there's a saying in the dysautonomia and Ehlers-Danlos, like EDS, like there's a kind of, it's kind of like, there's kind of a bunch of disorders that fit into this like umbrella. We're kind of like all sister disorders, you know? And there's a saying where sometimes when you hear hoofbeats, it really is a zebra. Which I like a lot. Because, yeah, if even one doctor had bothered to consider that it might be a zebra, I would have been diagnosed years earlier, and I would have gotten to spend a lot more of my life not incredibly depressed and self-blamey, and also out of education because I wasn't able to go to school during that entire time. So I missed out on a huge chunk of my education, and that was in my teenage years. In my formative teenage years, I wasn't in education, I didn't have any friends because I wasn't going to school. I was just at home and depressed. And like, if one doctor had bothered to be like, maybe it's a zebra, then I probably wouldn't be as like a disaster of a person as I am. I don't know. Yeah, I feel a lot of like resentment towards those people. It's like, fuck them. It's like this feeling of like, almost like anger that like they took my childhood away. Is that too dark? Am I getting too personal? Poor angel, thank you. I'm a lot better now. But yeah, I feel just knowing that I'm sending virtual hug, thank you. It's wild. Being disabled is a fucking wild ride. And diagnosis is hell. And I guess, yeah. If anyone out there is listening who is currently going through the process of trying to get a diagnosis, just know that it fucking sucks. And it's going to suck. But keep trying. Keep trying because it's worth it. It's so unbelievably worth it. You don't even realize how worth it is to have a diagnosis. Because that's another thing. This is a message for non-disabled people listening. If a person ever says that they got diagnosed with something to you, don't immediately go, I'm so sorry to hear that. That's awful. Don't do that. Because here's the thing. If it's something that they've been dealing with for a long time, and they finally get diagnosed, it is the best thing ever. The day I got my diagnosis was one of the best days of my life. And yet when I told people that I got diagnosed, they were like, I'm so sorry. That's awful. And I've seen a lot of disabled people like say the same thing where like, so I remember a story of like someone said they were going to like a psychiatrist or something to get like a full mental health examination. And like a friend of theirs or a partner of theirs, sorry I did that to you, it's okay. But they were going to psych ward to get like diagnosed or whatever. And so a friend of theirs or a partner was just like, hope they don't find anything. It's like, what do you mean hope they don't find anything? Why do you think I'm going? If they don't find anything, that's quite an issue. It's like like if you're dealing like the diagnosis is not news. Like the diagnosis is the news. The illness is not, you know? So like the illness been happening. You know? Like I didn't start having dysautonomia when I got diagnosed, you know? I mean, the first reaction people do whenever I hit that. Yeah, it's wild. Because, like, especially people who have... Because, like, the thing is, when people tell me that they got diagnosed with something, I'm, like, ecstatic for them. I'm so excited. Human instinct. It's like... Because, like, I know... I feel like if you've never gone through having an undiagnosed illness, you hear I just got diagnosed with blah blah blah, and what you hear is I have blah blah blah, which is not the news that person is telling you. The person is not saying, hey, I have horrible illness. Hey, look, I have horrible illness. It's like, that's not news. They, like, what they're saying is, I got diagnosed with illness. And what that means is, I can get treatment. I can get subsidies from the government in some cases. I can tell people that I have this and not just be like excommunicated from society or social groups whenever I do something weird or something weird happens. It's like accused about that term. Yeah, it's I remember Pixie Locks. She got a huge amount of backlash for when she announced that she she had a DID diagnosis, and she announced it with a cake that said happy DID diagnosis. Can I say it? Which is, for the uneducated, is dissociative identity disorder. Blah blah blah. And a lot of people got pissed at her because they were like, how dare you celebrate the fact that you have childhood trauma, because DID is a trauma-based illness. It's like, people with DID suffer so much, and here you are celebrating it with a cake. And it's like, no. She's not celebrating the fact that she had DID, dumbasses. Because all people saw was happy DID, which is not what Pixie was saying, what Jill was saying. It was happy DID diagnosis. Because guess what? They been had DID. Watch this little monster right behind bikini before people. I don't know. I don't think I have. But yeah, I just the way it's, people focus so hard on the I have DID part that they didn't hear the diagnosis part. It's like, she been had DID, you know? She been had it. She been suffering with an undiagnosed disorder for years of her life. And she was just like, I guess I'm just crazy. It's like, an untreated DID is so dangerous too. Like, when you get a diagnosis, like, now you could be treated. You could have medication, and you could go to therapy, and and people will understand you, and you could find a community of people who also have it and who understand you. It's great. Yeah. Someone throwing a party like, woo, happy DID. Yeah, it's wild. It's like the idea of, like, people got mad at her for getting a cake for her DID diagnosis, because it's like, why are you celebrating the fact you have DID? You're just celebrating the fact that she had a diagnosis of it. That's awesome. That's incredible. It's like, oh my god, like, I didn't get a cake when I got diagnosed, but I went out and had crepes with my mom at one of our favorite crepe places. And it was awesome. We went out and we had delicious crepes because I was so happy. And it's like, and if someone was like, you're celebrating your illness because you went out and had crepes. It's like, what? Huh? I'm sorry. I just went through years and years of having doctors tell me I was crazy. And now I finally have proof that I'm not crazy. And I can get medication now. Need to find the negativity of positivity. Exactly. It's like, I can get medication now. I got on supplements from the Australian government, which, oh my god, is hell to get on, by the way. But I have a disability support pension now, which means that I can actually have money when I can't work, which is nice. I also finally have something to tell people that, like, hey, I can't work. Because, oh my god, when you're unemployed in Australia, the government hates you. On stream, yeah. Like, the government in Australia hates unemployed people. If you're not employed, fuck you. If you're not employed, the Australian government wants you to go to, like, fortnightly employment meetings where you discuss how you're going to get employed. And you have to keep a journal on everything that you're doing in order to get employed. And it's like, what the fuck? You have to send out a certain amount of job applications that you've agreed upon with your employment provider. It's wild. And like, the thing about that was the only like pension I could get without a diagnosis. So I basically just had to be like, hey, I'm unemployed and I need money. And they're like, all right, so how many hours can you work a week? And they assessed me. This is true. This is 100% true. We have Centrelink in Australia. That's what it's called. Which is how you get money for when you're unemployed or whatever. Or disabled or whatever. It's basically how you get pensions. And I was assessed, this is before my diagnosis. So even before I was diagnosed, I was assessed by the Australian government that I would only be able to work 8 hours a week. That was the maximum that, according to my medical records, like even without a diagnosis, this was just going off of like, just like symptoms only. They were like, you could probably work about 8 hours a week. And let's just say that I did get a job. Let's just say I did get a job, alright? How much would that job have to pay me hourly in order for me to make a living of 8 hours a week of work? I would have to get a high-ass paying job as my entry-level job. As like a high school dropout who can't stand up for longer than 3 hours. And they were like, yeah, you can do that. And I just like, what? Huh? The fact that they assessed me to only be able to work 8 hours a week, and then they were like, and now you should do that. And that's how much you're going to work, yes? This is how much you work now, and that's how much you... That's all you... By the way, if I worked any more than 8 hours a week, I would get taken off that supplementary payment. So basically, if I wanted to work more than they allowed me, if I wanted to make more money than they allowed me to make, they would stop. They would be like, okay, you're good. And if I stopped working that much, I would have to reapply and go through the entire process again in order to get back on the payments, which took literal years, by the way. It took literal years of my life to get on that payment in the first place. So, this is what I mean by Australia hates unemployed people. And yeah, that was my only option for getting pensions from the government before I got diagnosed. So yeah, when someone tells you that they got a diagnosis, woo! Like, I actually have money now. I can actually pay for things now. I can pay for rent. I don't have to mooch off my parents. Because, like, oh my god, I just kept thinking the entire time that, like, I was on, it was called youth allowance or whatever, because I was a young person and I was unemployed. And I wasn't in school. I was a NEET, essentially. I still am a NEET, really. But, yeah, if I... Oh my god, it's so stupid! But yeah, the entire time I was on that payment, and every time I would go to like a meeting with Centrelink or whatever and talk about it, all I could think was, imagine if I didn't have supportive parents. Imagine if I didn't have supportive parents who could pay my rent for me. Who could pay for my food while I was going through all of this red tape nonsense. If I didn't have parents who could pay for my not only my food, but also my medication, my doctor's visits, my transport to and from Centrelink offices, I would straight up be dead. Straight up, be dead. I would have died of starvation, or thirst, or I don't know, exposure, because I'd be homeless. Like, oh my god, it's so fucked! Happy New Year, everybody. Let me go on a rant about the Australian pension system. Y'all enjoying this? Fuck Centrelink. Just kidding. Don't take away my payments, please. I need them to live. I just think it's insane that the same people who judge me as being able to work only 8 hours a week were like, you're not disabled. You're not disabled and you can't get on the disability support pension. Come back to us with a diagnosis. And I was like, you literally just assessed me to be sick enough to only be able to work 8 hours a week. And they were like, what? We never did that. I don't know what you're talking about. I've never seen that in my life. Fuck Centrelink. Fuck. But not really. Please keep giving me my checks. Thank you. I love you, Centrelink. Thank you for the money. I need it. If you don't give it to me, I starve. And I can't pay rent, so please keep giving them to me. But also love how you keep disabled people below the poverty line. I think that's really neat. I think it's really neat how you only give disabled people enough money to, I don't know, maybe keep the lights on. It's so fucked. Is this too depressing a topic? I should stop. I'm sorry. I sometimes anyone who's on Centrelink knows that sometimes you just need to absolutely roast the shit out of Centrelink because like you just get so frustrated that it's like not depressing, just honest. It's a little bit depressing. Things can be honest and depressing. But yeah, like the fact that this was all a rant. I'm just worried they weren't let us go. Oh yeah, they hate when you go overseas. I forgot about that. One of my applications for listen to this shit. I'm sorry, I said that I was gonna move on to another topic, but do you want to hear some dumb shit? So, one of the reasons that I was rejected for a pension, I don't think it was the disability support pension, it was the youth allowance one. One of the reasons I was rejected for my first application for my youth allowance was rejected because before I started applying for the pension, by the way. So, I don't even know how they found this information out. I'll be honest. But I went to South Korea and Japan because I wanted to see, it was August 2018 and I wanted to see Luna's first ever concert. So I had a bunch of money saved up from pocket money. So essentially like my parents' like allowance. The allowance I got from my parents. I saved it up. I had a huge I've always been very good with savings, by the way. It's just a fun fact about me. So I had like a couple thousand saved away, I think. And I asked basically for Christmas that year for a loan from my grandparents that I would pay back without interest and stuff. Because they're my grandparents and they love me. And so with that money that I saved up myself over years, and with the loan from my grandparents, I managed to save enough money to go to South Korea so I could see Luna. And Mary came with me. That was great. It was great. It was a great time. And after I got back from that, I started applying for youth allowance. It was super fun. I got rejected from my youth allowance application because I went to South Korea before I started applying. I was also a minor when I went to South Korea, by the way. So I don't know what the fuck they were doing, being like, hey, you know when you weren't even, like, supposed to be out of school yet? And you went to another country, with your parents' and your family's money that they had generously gifted to you over the years. That clearly demonstrates that you are far too wealthy for youth allowance. Huh? Poor people don't travel. Poor people don't have nice things. What? That still to this day is one of the stupidest things that I've ever had to go through with Centrelink. Fuck that. Like, before I even started applying. Like, why was that information relevant to them in the first place? It's not like I was spending their money from their pension to go overseas. I hadn't even applied for it yet. It wasn't like I was applying like, oh, I can't wait to get this pension so I can spend it on my trip. Like, what? I can't wait to misuse this money. It was one of the stupidest things. It's like, oh my god, Australia, fix your shit! Fix your shit, Australia! Fix it! What is that? Child not allowed to go to South Korea to see band they like. Not allowed. They aren't allowed to have money to pay rent. Hey, fun fact, if you go overseas, you're not allowed to pay rent. If you go overseas... one time, before you're even an adult, then fuck you. And I just want to know, then why was that trip the one they cared about? What about the time I went to Japan in 2015? Is that allowed? Am I allowed to, was that one allowed? They didn't cite that one. They didn't say, hey, this was... What? I literally... And yeah, the very idea that like, I want to go to Japan again soonish, and the very idea that Centrelink could tell me no, and like withhold the money that I used to pay for my medicine and my rent, like ransom from me. Like, you're not allowed to leave Australia. You stay here. If you leave the country, then we cut you off. Like, what the fuck? Why is it like a strict parent that doesn't want you to go into music? Like, if you don't study law, then we cut you off. We're not paying for your law. We're not paying for you to go to college. Like, what the fuck? I just want to study music. Dad? Do you think if I... Like, by the way, the entire Centrelink system is set up to, like, incentivize you to lie to them. Like, I swear to God, like, so many things that, like, you get penalized by Centrelink for are just, like, the stupidest shit ever. And, like, I have literally... Should I say that? I'm not liable. For legal reasons, this is a joke, and also you can't prove anything. But I have had professionals and doctors tell me just not to mention things on Centrelink forms. Just be like, don't mention that. They'll like, not even for like they'll cut you off or like that's against the rules, but basically them just being like, you have to do another form. If you mention that, they'll make you do like 3 more forms. It could take your application like 3 more months. And and these are people who work for Centrelink every day, who handle Centrelink applications every day, and they're just like, just fucking don't. It's like, there are so many parts of the Centrelink application form that it's just like, it just wants you to lie so bad. It's just like, it's kind of like, it basically, in order to, if you tell the truth, they'll like use it for evil. And they'll like use it to like purposely withhold something from you that you need. Like for example, like imagine that like you need, if you don't eat a banana every day, you die. If you don't tell Centrelink that, then they'll just give you the flat like pension, and then you can just use that pension or whatever to pay for your bananas and you'll be fine. But if you tell Centrelink that you have this issue where you need to eat a banana every day or else you die, they'll be like, okay, then we'll give you a banana allowance. And so basically what that is it's not a bonus, and you're still getting the same amount that everyone else would get from their DSP, but now part of that is a banana allowance, and you have to call us every day at the same time and stay on hold, and you have to eat the banana on the phone with us every day to prove that you're doing it, and you have to do that every day, or else we take that banana allowance out of your DSP. Do you see what I mean? Where it just becomes a thing of just like, just lie. Or just admit it. Just don't mention that you have to eat a banana every day. It incentivizes you to lie! Or just admit things! Because if you admit that something's wrong with you, they'll take advantage of it. It's wild. And it's like, I am very grateful that we have disability support pensions at all, because like there are a lot of countries where that isn't possible. But oh my god. Like, so much of Centrelink's issue is that they focus so hard on keeping people who are trying to abuse the system out, and they don't actually give a fuck about disabled people trying to live. Like, they are so worried about accidentally giving Joe Schmo some cigarette money that they will purposefully withhold like living wages from thousands and thousands and thousands of people who really need it. It's crazy. And Oh my god. In 2023, I will end Centrelink. I will. In 2023, no, I can't say that. That's a threat. I feel like Centrelink loves to try and say that you did something that violated their rules or whatever, and then take your payments away. So like, I feel like I can't like jokingly threaten them, because they'll be like, you threatened us on a live stream in front of 4 people. So you don't get your money anymore. It's like, wow. I love it. Free healthcare, y'all. Anyway, so yeah, while having a diagnosis is great, dealing with Centrelink is less great. So, you know, maybe I shouldn't have gotten diagnosed at all. Maybe if I didn't get diagnosed, I could have just peacefully died on the street. And I wouldn't have to deal with their bullshit. And that would be nice. Maybe I would be happier. Who knows? I guess I'll never know. By the way, I have been working on this for an hour and a half when I meant to finish it in like 2 seconds. It was meant to just be the first part of the stream where I would quickly get this done, but instead I started rambling. And now it's taken me the whole fucking stream. Why am I like this? I had other shit I wanted to do today. The stream might go a bit long. This might be part 1. Part 1 where we finish this fucking drawing. And then part 2 when I actually get to the shit I wanted to do on this stream. This is literally just a thumbnail. Am I a great streamer? This is my last stream of the year, probably, if I don't do one at midnight. Wow. I'm a great streamer. I should keep doing this forever. In seriousness, I really do enjoy streaming, and that is partially what I wanted to talk about today. Is I'm happy I finally started streaming this year. I like it. I feel good about it. I want to keep doing it. And I hope that I can make 2023 a good year of streaming, because I feel like I've been very much learning the ropes and figuring out what the fuck is going on in these past 4 months. Very professional streamer. I have a talent. I know! Can't you tell that I'm a professional streamer? Because I've been drawing the thumbnail for this stream this entire time. Mouth reminds me of certain anime. This mouth is something that I see sometimes that I just started doing, and I don't know where it's from either. But I just think it's cute, so I do it. A lot of the time I do know where certain features of my art is from. But with that mouth, couldn't tell you, man. It's kind of like a kids anime kind of thing. Like just put like a little heart in there. And now it's a kids anime. You know what I mean? I should stop being so precious about this. I need to get it done. I have other shit to do. Also, I'm sweaty. It's hot. It's nearly 30 BRB, see you! I don't have my fan on. I can't turn my fan on. It makes a horrible noise into the microphone. So I'm just sitting here and I have to be sweaty and uncomfortable. But this is the life I've chosen for myself. I'm a streamer. But anyway, next year, my stream goals. Should I talk about them now or should I do it a bit later? Because I kind of want to do it like, I want to make like a proper, I want to make a little resolution sheet. So maybe I'll do that in a bit. But I have some goals in mind for next year. Because I've kind of been treating, wait, no you don't, you're lying. You have to wait like 2 days probably. But basically I've decided that 2022, these past 4 months, this has been my trial period. This has been my free trial period of live streaming, and I'm about to enter paid membership. So I'll be like trying, like this entire time I feel like I've just been like kind of futzing my way through it. I haven't really felt like I'm a streamer yet. I'm kind of just like someone who streams. You know, I haven't felt like a streamer. I felt like someone who streams. You know what I mean by that? You know what I mean by that. If you don't know what I mean by that, then shut up. Keep it to yourself. Welcome back, Mary. But I think 2023, I'm gonna start treating myself as a streamer who does things, you know, who does streams. Wow. Know what you mean? No worry. Thank you. I'm extremely eloquent. Actually, that is one of my goals is for in 2023 is I want to get more eloquent. I want to stop stumbling over my words all the time. Cuz I feel like I speak in just like a jabbled mess sometimes. And I just can't imagine being someone whose first language is not English listening to me speak. Because oh my god, what the fuck am I saying? Sometimes I listen back to my own streams and I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. Like what the fuck am I saying? So if your first language is in English and you ever feel like, oh, my English is so bad I can't even understand what Nomi is saying on stream, don't worry about it. I can't understand what I'm saying and I'm the one who said it. Need you more you stuff later. No! I will not allow it to be a charm point. It's not my charm point. It's a flaw. It's a character flaw. And no one will convince me otherwise. Next year I also want to... You know what? Yes. I want to make my live 2D debut next year. I want to. I feel like I'm a little hesitant saying that I will. Because, like, money. It really comes down to money. Charm point just don't realize. Shut up! But it really comes down to money and how much I have available for me to spend on a live 2D model. And I know what kind of model I want. I know what kind of artist I want. And I need to wait for commissions to be open and stuff. And like, if I have to wait longer, I will wait. Because I'd rather wait and spend a shit ton of money on something that I really, really love than spend still a shit ton of money on something quick that I'll probably replace soon. And it's like, yeah. So basically I think until I get my 2D model, all assets that I use for me to speak will be made by me. So if you see me moving around and speaking, that's me. I drew that. But eventually, I don't think I want to make my own live 2D model because I will hate it after a month, and that would be sad. I don't want to hate my own model after a month. That would be upsetting. But I really enjoyed doing the Drawfee-esque stream where I did a bunch of requests. That was fun. And I drew a lot of stuff that I don't usually draw. Like, I usually just draw cute girls and also Kabuto. Those are the two things that I draw. So just drawing like Digimon and Goofy and Boggly. Like, that Boggly turned out so good. Hang on. Where is it? Like, why is this illustration of Boggly so good? I've never drawn anything like this in my life. And yet I made a Boggly? And it's incredible. Where did I get this from? So yeah, I want to do more Drawfee style streams where I just draw absolute nonsense because apparently I'm great at it. Like, I drew the snake. I mean, I draw a lot of snakes, but... And Goofy. While it is horrible, I gotta admit, I kinda snapped with this Goofy. Same with this horse. This is a great horse. Like, and also, like, even just drawing Shin-chan. Like, this is not a style I draw in very often. And, Hagamaru too. Like, what? When did I learn how to draw this? I don't know. But it kinda hits. I kind of absolutely went off with these drawings, you know? And I wasn't even prepared to draw that day. I just started and I absolutely popped off. So I should do that more. Oh, hello me. Anyway, I gotta do the hair! Oh god, it's always the hair. What was it? Imagine having fainting animation. Oh my god, I should do that. When I eventually get emotes, I have to have a fainting emote, right? Oh my god, I have to have a fainting emote. That would be so good. And you could spam it in chat whenever I faint. And people have never been to my streams before are like, why are they making fun of this person for fainting? That's so mean. And their chat is so ableist. Dude, that's actually so good. But I also, I really want a little animation of Lucy specifically, because Lucy has her little tail. Speaking of Lucy, I think Lucy needs to be released. Lucy, do you need to be released into the wild? But yeah, I want a little animation of she's screaming. I want a little animation of Lucy, cause she has the tail that's like is kind of long with the little star on the end, and I kind of want an animation of it swinging like a pendulum, like her just sitting like on a branch or something, and it's swinging like a pendulum. I think that'd be cute, and I could have that as my just starting thing. I think that would be neat. Yeah, Lucy's got some claws. She's got some heavy feet. But yeah, I also want... Basically... Okay, here's what I have in mind for 2023, another thing, if I do get my Live 2D debut, which again, I would like to at least... like figure out how it's gonna happen in 2023. If I have to wait on, like, because, like, if I have to wait for, like, the perfect mama, like, I already have a mama in mind, but I won't say their name because I don't want to, like, pressure them. I worry that, like, even though there aren't many people here, you know, but, like, I worry that if I say who I want my mama to be, that, like, even if you have the best of intentions, I don't want you to, like, message them or, like, be disappointed if it doesn't end up being them. Like, you know, I don't want anyone watching to, like, be like, oh, that's going to be their mama for sure. For sure, that's them. And when it's not them, I'll hate it, and I'll send messages to the person that was supposed to be their mama, like, why didn't you want to be Nomia's mama? And that would and ruin my relationship with them for future work, you know. I don't know. I've seen fandoms. I know how they act. And on the off chance that anything like that happens to me, absolutely not. I'm gonna keep you guys in motherfucking check. But yeah, I have one artist in particular who I would really like to be my mama. But if it is not them, then I have a few other ideas of people who I would like to do it. But the money, and also they're in high demand and such. Because of course, all the mamas that I grow attached to, all the potential mamas that I grow attached to, are like the most in high demand artists ever. And I'm like, God fucking damn it. I'll wait for the commissions that open in, when is it? October 2060? Cool. But yeah, at least by the end of next year, I want to have a solid plan for my Live 2D debut, if not have already debuted. So yeah. And I also want to, for my Live 2D debut, I have a bunch of things in mind that I want to do. Specifically, I want to have a lore video. So if you've ever noticed that I'm like weirdly cagey with my lore, or I don't describe it too often, or when I do, I kind of just give stupid little tidbits. I have a whole lore. It's like a whole thing. Like, if you want to sit and ask me questions about my lore, I can answer them. Like, I got a lot going on. Because that's what I do in like, I'm a full angel, you know? Kind of. You know what I mean? And yeah, when I have my Live 2D debut, I want to have a lore video to go with it. And either I might draw it, I might have someone else draw it, I might have someone help me draw it. And probably I would need someone to edit it. I'll need help. I'll need assistance. I'll need to find people. I'll need to communicate and be social and build connections and whatever. God, my life is so hard. Being a streamer is so hard. It's so hard having to talk to people and play video games. And talk shit on your government. God, it's so hard. Good thing I am the funniest person on the planet. Did you know that I'm a stand-up comedian? That's kind of not a joke. I've done stand-up before. If you've ever been like, wow, stand-up comedians nowadays just aren't funny, then you haven't, then direct them to me, because I'm hilarious. I'm reviving the industry. Oh my god. The way that I fluctuate wildly between incredibly self-aggrandizing and just absolutely no self-confidence whatsoever is kind of astounding. I kind of shock myself with how easily I flip between the two. Sometimes I worry that people actually think that I'm a huge selfish prick. I'm just a huge self-entitled prick. I just think so highly of myself. It's like, no. I use grandiose self-confidence to deal with the fact that I'm deeply insecure. Don't you understand? God. People these days don't know how to read the room. I guess that I'm just gonna talk about my resolutions here. Maybe I'll make a little graphic and I'll post it on the community page, because apparently this stream is just me drawing the thumbnail. That's what this stream is now. Welcome. Were you expecting this? Because I wasn't. But other things I want to do in 2023. I want to do a song cover of some kind. I want to be better at singing. I want to get lessons. I want to learn more Japanese. I should do like a Japanese learning stream. I would like to... Well, this is actually, this would make some... I was about to say a resolution, but it would make more sense if I say this one first. I want to do collabs. Because like I said, this has been trial period Nomiya, and 2023 unlocks full version paid premium Nomiya. Do I know my own fucking name? I swear to God. And so I'm gonna actually start treating myself. Singing stream new features. Oh my god, someone, cause you weren't here for my Christmas stream. And also, you weren't here when I did my first month anniversary stream. Have you seen me sing yet? I've done 2 karaokes now. Neither of them were very good. I was extremely nervous for both of them. I sing sometimes. I was incredibly nervous for both of them, so it was pretty bad because my stomach was so tight that I couldn't control my breath. I didn't know that. I try my best to sing. I need to practice singing more. It's part of the reason I did the karaoke. I did a karaoke for Christmas. Partially, I've kind of been forcing myself to do the karaoke's because it's like, it's cause it's like the one thing I get stage fright about is singing. So I've been trying to like slowly work up. I'm basically trying to defeat my stage fright in stages by singing poorly on stream. And eventually if I sing shitty enough for long enough on stream, maybe eventually I'll have eased up my nerves enough to be able to sing well. One day. But yeah, I want to get proper singing lessons, practice more. I want to do a Japanese lesson. I want to collab with people, finally. Nomiya Premium includes collabs, hopefully. I want to talk with more people, interact with people. I want to, because currently, I have felt for a long time that, like, I don't want to involve other people in my streaming career yet, because I don't know, I feel like there's a lot of people who like they stream for a month and then they stop and they invest a whole lot of time into it and then they just drop it, And no, absolutely no shade to them. Like, I do that with almost everything. But I wanted to be able to prove to myself that I wouldn't do that. That I would actually stick to it and I would actually be good at it, ? And that I would be confident enough in my ability to keep doing it for a prolonged period of time that I am willing to invest money into it and willing to invest other people's time into it, you know? So yeah, I've been nervous to reach out to anyone to collab. Before I felt truly like I could call myself a streamer, and I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start doing that. I'm a streamer now. And so I'm gonna talk to other streamers and be like, can we play video games together? And they can either ghost me or say no. And maybe one will say yes and I'll be like, ah! And then I'll ghost them. And then a month later I'll realize that they said yes and be like, shit, now I can't reply to them. Because it's been too long. They probably think I'm an asshole and they hate me now. I love social interaction. I'm very good at it. That's why I spend all my time on the internet. Talking to strangers. Because I'm good at social interaction. Maybe I'm a disaster of a person, but that's okay. And also maybe I'll do something where I can draw a piece of art for a thumbnail and not get it done in time for the stream and then have the entire stream turn into just drawing the thumbnail. Or B, do it the night before and stay up until 4 AM drawing the thumbnail and then wake up the next day too sleep deprived to stream, and so I have to delay it. Truly incredible. By the way, I'm so happy that, because I've been looking at my analytics, and let me tell you, the amount of people who find my streams from Googling, searching on YouTube, sorry. The amount of people who find my streams by searching on YouTube just the word, like, sexy anime girl, or, like, lewd anime girl, or, like, big tits is my favorite one. That was something that someone used, that was a search term someone used to find me. If you hear this, if you ever hear this, big tits person, know that you're my favorite. I know I shouldn't have favorites, but you're my favorite. If you found me by searching big tits on YouTube, then you are the reason that I am still streaming today. Like, truly the audacity, you know? To search on YouTube of all places. Same with people searching porn on YouTube. Because like that is something that, because I have the word porn in the title of one of my Magikami streams. Like what if I just ramble about nothing and play porn gacha, I think is like the title of it. That is like one of my most popular streams because I put the word porn in the title. Like, absolutely based. Like, I love how predictable people are. It's like how Drawfee revealed that, like, the video with the highest click-through rate this whole year was a video from 8 years ago titled Boobs versus Boobs. Like, wow. People just want to see titties. That's all people want. Should I just, at the end of every one of my streams titles, just put the word boobs in brackets? Do you think that would up my viewership? Or do you think people would get angry at me? Because clickbait. I could just put a boob window on my PNG or whatever. So there's some cleavage. Maybe people would like that. God, people are hilarious. Horny people are so funny. Dude, it's my favorite thing. My favorite thing in the whole world is just observing horny people and their behaviors. They're so fucking weird. Like, when people are horny, they do some weird fucking shit. Like, search big tits on YouTube. Like, I can't imagine being a person who does that. And maybe I should be a person who does that. Maybe I'm not living my best life. Maybe they've cracked the code to true happiness. And I'm sitting here making fun of them. When really I should be emulating them. I can put my makeup on. Oh my god, I nearly forgot. We do this. We do this. Good, good. Make sure it's not on the ears. We do a duplicate of this. We take this. Okay, we're so close. It has been nearly 2 hours. It has been nearly an entire stream. This stream. This is a good stream. I'm glad this is my final stream. My final stream. This is the last one, guys. Bye. Also, in case you want to know why I have like this cool makeup as part of my design, it's because I just kind of I was doing my very first sketch of myself and I was like, there isn't enough rainbow. I made the eyes rainbow, but there's still not enough. And so I needed to add some more color to the face. Especially since I knew that for the majority of the time you're going to be seeing me just from like the titties up. So I was like, there needs to be more color up here. And so I added some makeup. This is my last stream. It's not my, I won't use the G word. No G word. Speaking of G word, I'm still like not entirely emotionally over Yugo. Like, that's gonna take some processing time. Wait, what happened? Okay. And we need a little blush, because that's what makes it cute. I need to have a little blush. Otherwise, what's the point of drawing? Doo -doo -doo. You gotta do the really, really heavy blush first, and then you can tone it down. There we go. Am I done? Is it finally done? The way this wasn't the point of the stream. Expand. 20. Crap. No. Select, create, and then select, add, and then expand, and then crop. Like so. Support in PNG. Okay, now let's go to the fucking thumbnail. Bring up PNG, put it here, perfect. Line it up. We're finally doing it. We're finally gonna finish the fucking thumbnail of this stream. Let's go to my assets library, which is just okumono.com. That's not what it's called. I think it's, I don't know, it's in the description. Look at the description, you can see my assets. What background are we using? What are we using, boys? What about this? That's pretty nice. So we got some sparkles. We got some nice sparkles here. That's pretty good. Oh, we got some party themes. Parties. Welcome to my thumbnail making process. Are you all having a good time? Enjoying my thumbnail making process? Are you absolutely enriched by this content? You know how YouTube sometimes gives you those little pop-up surveys that are like, do you remember watching this content? And if you say yes, it was like, would you say this content was like momentarily uplifting or inspiring, entertaining, fucking, it fulfilled a temporary information need, something like that, you know those? I want, if you ever see any of my videos in that little that little survey, please say that they were inspiring, fulfilled a temporary information need, entertaining, artistic, I don't know what all the words are, revolutionary. Just say anything. Just say that, just tell YouTube that I'm an incredible creator and I should be on everyone's recommended. Thank you! Like and subscribe. Click the bell. God, I am dead inside. Literally every time I do like anything, it's like a call to action telling people to subscribe. I feel like my stomach is crawling up out of my throat. It's like, ugh. How do people do it? That's pretty cute. We're just gonna go through. Happy bar's going away. That's pretty cute. Future. Lucy's screaming. Lucy hates it. Lucy hates that one. That's too dark. I like the borders of this one. This is the one we're going with. Lucy's having opinions and feelings. We duplicate this. No, we don't do that. That's the wrong thing. We selection from layer, create selection. And we go pixel out that much. No, we don't. We go out this much. That's better. And then we do this. And then we turn it to add parentheses glow. And we lower the opacity a little bit. And then it looks kind of cute. It looks like it barely made a difference, but I promise it did. Even make it like subtler. Honestly, it looks pretty cute, subtle. Whoop. And I'll knock my microphone again. I love doing that. In 2023, I will not stop knocking my microphone. I will do that forever until I die. My last words will be, oh shit, I bumped the microphone, and I will pass away. Should I do, oh, I could do the this, you know. The this. What color is it? This color? That's good enough for now. Let's turn on the grid. Show me the grid. I want this to be even thicker. That's too thick. Show me your math dick. I want to suck it. In 2023, I will not stop making Game Grumps references that nobody knows about. This is hell. Also, the dead silence I go into when I'm writing. That's not it. That ain't it, Chief. It simply ain't it. Is that it? No. What about that? The hell of writing your own text. I hate this. Kill me. Throw me off of a building. Eat my flesh. Yum yum yum, delicious. Scoop it up and eat it. And you know for a fact that you will see this exact same illustration in every fucking one of my thumbnails, because I have 3 images. It makes it different. Oh, very cute, thank you. Glow dodge, color dodge, linear light, vivid light, add parentheses glow, add hard light, question mark, saturation up. What's happening? Vivid light. This is terrible. Well, show me contrast. Up the, no. Incorrect. This is terrible! I'm having the worst time in my life right now. Darken. No, not that one. Darker color. No. Lighter color. No! There we go. That's the one I wanted. Put all the effects. Yes. Now add glow. No. Wrong one. Change it. I don't know what. I'll be honest, I don't know what any of these effects actually do. I just click on them until one is correct. Like, what does add glow do that's different from glow dodge? I don't know. There's a little bit of a difference. You can see the black lines through this one. What does it mean? I don't know. Neon effect, exactly. Just kind of fuck with it until it's correct. Vivid light? No, it's not correct. It's wrong. Pin light? What's happening? I might lose it. If I make it too light, then it's not readable! I don't mean to yell at you, I'm sorry. I hate this, but it's done. At some point, you just gotta stop. What about a frame or a decoration or something? My folder is struggling. Bring me the frames. Frustration kicking in. Listen! Thumbnail making is all about throwing away all of your morals and thinking only about clicks. Actually, that's a lie. If I had no morals, there would be titties in this. Because that's apparently what everyone wants. That's what everyone wants from me. It's just titties. And like, I understand. I like titties as much as the next guy. But I can't do it every stream. No. No decorations. Fuck it. It's done. Let's never look at this thumbnail again, except for every time I scroll past it in my videos. I don't even have very big tits. There are VTubers with bigger tits than me. Why do people find my videos through searching that? I don't know, but I think about it every fucking day. There is something about the person who found my videos through searching big tits that I'm fascinated by it. Because I don't have big tits. None of my thumbnails have titties in them, I don't think. Maybe the reading stream a little bit. I have slight cleavage in the reading stream. The thumbnail's updated. Thumbnail done. Just in time for the end of the fucking stream. Violation. Speaking of violations! My fucking Christmas stream got age restricted! I have played slow damage and dramatical murder on this channel. I had to watch Toa erotically cut open a man with a knife. And I had to watch Noise make his ecstasy face or whatever. And YouTube said, yes, that's fine, I love it. Yes, good content, good family-friendly content. I decide to put the word motherfucker in a title of my Christmas stream, where I play a fucking Fabulous Angela game, which is just me running around making dresses or whatever, and then I sing some Christmas songs, including one that made my mums cry. Joke's on you, by the way, motherfuckers, I didn't cry. Ha! And YouTube says no. No. 18 plus. Minors can't watch you sing a Christmas song. Absolutely not. Get that shit out of my face. I even took the word motherfuckers out of the title, and it's still age restricted. So there is now not a single bit of content in that stream that could possibly violate the guidelines in any way, and yet it's still age restricted. And I can't appeal it. Isn't that cool? Anyway, if you're over 18 and mature enough to handle it, you should watch my Christmas stream. I sang for the second ever time in front of anyone. To be able to make your mother cry. Hee. Oops, I sang a sacrilegious song and I made my mother cry. The past 8 days have truly been wild. I had my Christmas stream got age restricted, and then the hell of 2 days ago with the Stardew Valley stream that turned into drawing. Oh boy. And now today? What's going on? Am I okay? Did I say konnichiwa at the beginning of this stream? Did I say konnichiwa? The Christmas curse? No. I did? Good. I suddenly had the feeling, because I have this scene that you're looking at right now in OBS is titled konnichiwa. Because, no it's not, it's titled konnichiwa. Why is it titled that? Did it autocorrect me? Hey! That's not my intro at all. You're missing the whole point of it. It can't just be konnichiwa, the Grinch actually did show up in a few of my streams. It was him. It can't just be konnichiwa, then I'm just a weeaboo. It has to be konnichiwa, because then it's a pun. Don't change it to the kanji for rainbow. It's hiragana, because it's cuter. If you didn't know, my intro is konnichiwa because it's konnichiwa, but niji is rainbow in Japanese. That's why. Just in case you didn't notice. In case you didn't know. Anyway, the actual point of the stream was I was going to make a little New Year's resolution list, but now it's the end of the stream. And I spent the entire thing making a thumbnail. So you know. Quick speed run resolutions. I want to sing a song. I want to release a cover. That's what it is. I want to sing a song. That's one thing. I want to release a cover. I already have a song in mind. So I'll need to find people. I want to collab with people. That's something I want to do. I want to talk to more people in general. I want to talk to more artists. I want to commission artists. I want to work more on my live 2D debut and get that shit in order. What else do I want to do? I want to keep the schedule of at least 3 streams a week unless I take an active break for reasons or whatever. What else do I want? Oh, I want to do a Japanese learning stream. I would love to do a stream in Japanese. That would be a struggle for me. I don't know enough Japanese, but maybe I could learn enough Japanese that I could attempt that. That'd be fun. And, what else? This would be a lot easier if I hadn't wasted the entire stream drawing a thumbnail. I want to start playing a Persona game. I want to do a thing where I do like longer Persona streams on like days that are in the game, you know? So I'm like living my life through the, you know, like the first day in Persona 5 is like April 9th maybe, and so like I did my first Persona 5 stream on April 9th, and then on the day that you send the calling card, on that date in real life I would do the stream where I send the calling card. You know what I mean? I want to live a year in Persona, but I don't know which one yet. I have until April to decide. So it'd either be 5, 4, or 3. Not 1, not 2. I don't even think they have the year structure. But fuck Persona 2. That's my hot take. My hot take is fuck Persona 2. If you like Persona 2, you're probably valid, and you probably just had a good experience with it. But I had a bad experience with Persona 2, and now I hate it for no reason. I'm sure it's a great game, but I can't stand looking at it. Anytime I see a frame of Persona 2 gameplay, I want to die. I'm sure it's a great story. I'm sure I would love it if I watched a playthrough of it or something, but oh boy. And I'm scared to play the first Persona game because what if it makes me feel the way Persona 2 makes me feel? Anyway. By the way, did you know that apart from my BL streams, my Zatsudans, no, BL, then Stardew Valley, then Zatsudans, those are the 3 types of streams that do the best for me. And I'm just like, how do my Zatsudans do the best? Like, there's nothing to draw people in aside from me. So like, how are people finding them? Like, I'm getting more views on them than I have subscribers. So people are clearly finding them. And how are they finding them? What? Is it the big tits? Are there more tits in my Zatsudans than I realize? Is it the balloons in the background? Do they remind people of tits? I don't know. I'm very confused. Anyway. My other resolution is I want to actually get that secret ending in the witch's house. That I failed at on the Halloween stream. I was like, can't see anything. There's balloons back there. People think those are boobs? Maybe. If I give myself more tits, will people watch? I don't know. I'm trying my very best not to lose my integrity. You know? Because I could title every stream the titties, VTuber, girlfriend, whatever, roleplay, and get more views. But something about that makes me want to die. So I guess I'm doing this the long way. The way of integrity, which is bullshit, if you ask me. But I am actually very happy because, like, it seems kind of silly being like, I am actually very happy with the channel's growth when I have like under 100 subscribers still. But the fact that I have 75 subscribers and only like, how many videos? How much do I have? How much content do I have? A bit. 45-ish? Maybe over 50? The point is that I have more subscribers than I do videos, which means that 51. So that means that for every upload I make, I'm gaining more than 1 subscriber, which is very impressive because I've been doing that since the very beginning and it's only continued to go up, which is kind of incredible to me. They're like, I'm actually doing something. Like, I look at my social blade sometimes to keep track of, like, because it's a bit easier to read than YouTube analytics, and it predicts that I'm gonna hit 1,000 in like only a year, which is really wild. And like, I would like to keep on that trajectory. I think I would like to keep making content that people like enough to subscribe to watch more of, you know? That would be nice. I'd also like to, at some point, hit, what is it called? Affiliate or partner or whatever? The one where you get stuff. Where you unlock, like, yeah, the monetization. That's something I want to try and get. I don't know if I'll be able to get it by the end of 2023, but I'd like to. So I would need, for that I need 4,000 watch hours, and I need 1,000 subscribers. And according to my analytics, that's not unreasonable to think of hitting that within a year, which is kind of wild to me because I only started 4 months ago. But you know, I'll take it. Pretty neat. But yeah, I want to keep going and keep doing more things, do some more ambitious stuff, do more stuff with other people. That's what because I feel more confident in my ability to keep streaming and build something for myself than I did when I first started. So I feel a little braver and like I can actually say, hey, other people, do you want to help me with this thing? Because yeah, like I said, I had this fear of like if I invited people to help and then one day I just like lost all motivation for it and I realized I was bad at it actually. And I would just have to be like, just kidding, I'm not doing that anymore. All of your work is pointless. Like I had that fear pretty bad, so I was worried about talking to other people too much or collabing with people, but I'll commit to it. 2023 commitment ceremony. Yeah. Alright. I think that's the end of stream. I think I've gone over my resolutions. I may or may not be back at midnight my time. Maybe. I don't know. Depends on how Lucy's feeling. Because she hates midnight on New Year's Eve. Yes, Happy New Year, Mary. Happy New Year, 3 darlings. I never use that name because it's embarrassing. Once people start calling themselves 3 darlings, I'll feel less embarrassed about it. But for now, I'm embarrassed. Anyway, Happy New Year, someone! Let's do more streams! Do more things! Yay! Grow more wings. By the end of the year, I will have 10,000 wings. Thank you for watching. Atsunawa! Free Refnia, we made it live. Yes, we did. We did it. We're gonna keep going. Atsunawa. Bye!